Good morning, and thank you very much for joining us. I am Yori Folani. Let's revisit Osun. Osun is all done, right? Done and dusted, but not so, really, because as you recall, many people have been congratulating the winner as declared by INEC, Senator Ademola Adeleke. He won, according to the results. He won, and the figures by which he won, he had 403,371 votes to the sitting governor, Oyetola's 375,027 votes. So, you know, it's straightforward, it's clear. But you recall that Governor Oyetola had not yet congratulated him. Those are the figures for you there. And the reason was that he was still studying it. Well, he was studying the results of the election. Well, now, I think we can say that the study has finished because last week, the governor indeed, you know, filed a petition at the Osun State Election Petition Tribunal. And so this morning, we have with us one of the lawyers, you know, that are close to Governor Oyetola, and we'll be looking at it. I'm talking about Mr. Ibrahim Lawal. Mr. Ibrahim Lawal, he's head of chambers of one of the largest firms in the Southwest. I don't think I'll go into any advertisement since he hasn't paid anything. Let me just leave it at that. You're very welcome. Thank you very much for coming on, Ibrahim.
It's a pleasure being here.
Indeed. You are no stranger to Osun. In fact, you worked with the governor before, Governor, you know, Oyetola, if I'm not right. You were in government.
Yes, I worked under Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola as the Senior Special Assistant on Legal and Judicial Sector Reform. And as such, I had a working relationship with Governor Oyetola when he was the Chief of Staff to the Governor, Ogbeni Rauf Aregbesola. So I have had working relationship with Governor Oyetola in the past.
Okay. And now, many people, especially if they're out of the Southwest, out of Osun, might be a bit surprised that we thought that was done and dusted, but clearly not so. Governor Oyetola does not see it like that. He and his team have looked at the results and find that there are anomalies. Now, what is the main plank, the main thrust, shall we say, of the disagreement of Oyetola with the result as declared? Because many people say, look, he beat, Senator Adeleke beat the governor by 28,000 votes. This is not a matter of 7,000 or 8,000 or 10,000, 28,000. So before we get into the nitty-gritty, what would be the complaint of the governor? Where is it coming from? Where is the main plank of the complaint coming from?
Yes, thank you very much. The complaint of the governor is that the election was not conducted in compliance with the Electoral Act. You know, the new Electoral Act is different from the ones we have been, you know, having in the past. In the past, you have physical accreditation. But here, in this election, the election is very clear, particularly Section 47 of the Electoral Act, subsection 47, subsection 2, said that to vote, the presiding officer shall use a smart card reader or any other technological device that may be prescribed by the Commission for the accreditation of voters to verify, confirm, or authenticate the particulars of the intending voter in the manner prescribed by the Commission. And the Commission here had, you know, prescribed BVAS, you know.
The bimodal voter accreditation
system as the only credible means of accreditation.
Okay.
And the report we got from the field was that in many of the polling units, BVAS were not used appropriately. It didn't capture the numbers of accredited. We didn't rely mainly on the report we got from our polling agents. We also demanded by law, we demanded the copy of the report of beavers from INEC, which we got. We got the CTC copy of the report of beavers across all the polling units. And we discovered that in 10 local governments and 749 polling units, accreditation through beavers was less or were less than the number of votes cast in those units. What I'm trying to say is that when you look at the number of votes cast for the parties and the accreditation through beavers was lower than the number, which means that there are overvoting.
Which means that areas. There were more voters than accredited by
beavers. And I can go ahead to give you example of such, so that people will know that it is not just a fluke. If you look at Eden North, Ward 5, Alusekere, Unit 004, Owode Commercial Primary School, the total votes cast in that unit was 1,267. And it will interest you to know that beavers recorded only 858 as accredited voters. That's in Eden North, where the governor-elect, comes from.
Okay.
If you also look at Ward 5, Unit 14, 206 number of votes were recorded for parties against 118 accredited voters through beavers. In Ward, 15 of the same Ward 5, Alusekere, 177 votes were recorded, while in forms ECHA, while in Beavers reports, 108 accredited voters were recorded in Beavers.
So that consistently, what you're saying, there were more voters than Beavers accredited.
That's what.
And these were counted.
Those are our votes. Those are our issues with, the election. So it takes somebody who could sit down and look at it very well before you can, because it is not enough to say the election went well as they want us to believe, but
INEC
the wish of the people.
Okay, the wish of the people, and then, well, first of all, I think the first respondent will be INEC in this.
Yes.
INEC, and then PDP, and
yes.
then the governor-elect,
yes.
The senator himself.
Yes.
Now, so you are saying that in spite of, INEC has been getting kudos for doing all it can, the Electoral Act, revised, amended, all of this has sort of put our voting system in a better place than it used to be. You are saying that for all of that, it wasn't as it should be, because you are challenging the results. In 749 polling units across 10 local governments.
Yes.
So that's not just one or two, examples. This is a mass. You are saying this it's a mass mistake.
Yes.
Let us put it like that.
Yes.
That you think needs to be rectified.
Yes. You see, the reality about it is that while we want to commend INEC for whatever they have done, it is not yet Uhuru. They still need to go back to the drawing board to, up their game. If we had kept quiet and we have not seen, we won't be helping INEC and we will not be helping our electoral system to get to where everybody could have an election and go to sleep. The thing, what we are talking about here is enormous. If you look at if you look at the number of votes that were affected by that mistake, or the way INEC had conducted themselves, not in tandem. So the thing is, the figure is huge, and so we cannot afford to keep quiet and say that we will not. We are talking about 173,655